Every morning you wake up as a blank canvas, not a continuation of yesterday, but a divine invitation to recreate who you are. The world may still be sleeping. The sky may still wear the colors of silence, but time, in its infinite wisdom, offers you a gift, fresh paint, a clean slate, a new beginning. The clock doesn't just tick forward, it resets, and with it, so can you. Think about that. Every sunrise isn't just a sign that you're alive, it's a chance to start over, wiser, braver, clearer than you were before. The past may have its shadows, but this moment, this morning, it holds no debt. No baggage, only possibility. But most people miss it. They open their eyes and fall into autopilot, phone, notifications, noise, reaction mode. And just like that, the gift is gone. Traded for yesterday's weight. But not you. Not anymore. Because now you understand. The first thoughts you allow into your mind each morning are not just thoughts. They are seeds. And the garden of your life will grow whatever you plant, consciously or unconsciously. That's why every morning is sacred. It's the moment you program your subconscious. And your subconscious, that's the pilot flying the plane. Here's the truth most people never realize. What you tell yourself every morning is the blueprint for your destiny. It's not fluff. It's not optimism. It's construction. You are laying the bricks of your future with the words you repeat when no one is listening. And so the first thing, before the world floods in, before doubt or delay can even knock, look at yourself and say this: I create my world. Say it like it matters. Say it like it's already done, because it is. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are not a product of what happened. You are the architect, the builder, the sculptor. You decide what your world becomes by deciding what you become. The conscious mind is not a mirror, it's a projector. It doesn't reflect what's real, it projects what you believe is real. And that belief sculpts your behavior, which sculpts your results, which sculpts your life. Thomas Edison knew this. He failed more than 10,000 times trying to invent the light bulb, but he never called them failures. He called them discoveries, steps, feedback. He saw every defeat as a necessary stone on the path to success. Why? Because in his mind, the result already existed. He wasn't guessing. He was building. You must think the same way about your life. Say it again. I create my world. Those 5 words are a declaration of war against passivity, a contract with destiny, a refusal to let life happen to you. Because you were not born to drift. You were born to drive, and every day begins with the wheel in your hands. Visualize it. You rise from your bed not as someone waking from sleep, but as a craftsman entering the studio. The tools are ready. The marble is untouched. The vision is forming. What will you shape today? Will you sculpt strength? Will you carve clarity? Will you build momentum? Or will you let the clay sit untouched, hardened by doubt, cracked by delay? This isn't about positive thinking. It's about precise building. Thought is cause. Reality is effect. Napoleon Hill said it clearly. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But belief doesn't come from hope. It comes from repetition, from evidence, from deciding every morning that you are not done, that you are not defined by yesterday's limitations, that you are becoming something greater, one thought at a time. That is why the awakening matters, not just physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. It's the moment when you choose, consciously, who you will be that day. And the choice is never neutral. Let others rush into the noise. Let others surrender to distraction. You begin with design, with intention, with power. So breathe deeply, stand tall, look inward, and remind yourself, I am not here to exist. I am here to create. I am not here to repeat. I am here to rise. I create my world. Let those words echo in the chambers of your soul. Let them override the old programming. Let them burn a new path into your neural pathways. This is your truth now. You are the sculptor of today, and today is yours. There is a voice that speaks before the world does. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It greets you before the mirror does, before the news feed, before the notifications, before anyone else has a chance to write on the chalkboard of your mind. That voice is yours, and it's either shaping you or sabotaging you. This is the inner dialogue, the invisible architecture of every decision you make. If left unchecked, it becomes a loop of fear, doubt, and delay. But when mastered, it becomes a command center for destiny. That's why when you rise, before the noise, before the rush, before the day hijacks your soul, you must look inward and declare, "I am bigger than my fears." Say it with strength. Say it like you mean it. Because fear is a trickster, a liar, a shadow pretending to be substance. It has no form until you give it shape, no power until you surrender your own. Napoleon Hill wrote about it with surgical precision. Fear is the most common and the most destructive of all human emotions. It robs dreams in silence. It doesn't need to roar. All it needs is for you to hesitate. And it's not just one fear, it's a chorus. The fear of poverty, whispering that you're not safe. The fear of criticism, warning you not to stand out. The fear of failure, freezing your feet when it's time to leap. But here's the truth. You are not those fears. You are the awareness behind them. The architect who can dismantle them the moment you stop feeding them with your focus. Understand this. Fear shrinks when faced. It dies in the light of action. You don't overcome fear by waiting for it to leave. You overcome it by moving while it screams. That's what separates the average from the extraordinary. The courage to act, even when the voice shakes. Abraham Lincoln knew fear, depression, doubt, political defeat after defeat. Yet he rose, not because he was fearless, but because he was faithful. He believed in the vision more than the voices, and that belief, spoken, repeated, declared every morning, turned his weakness into history's strength. And so must you. Declare it again. I am bigger than my fears. That is not denial. It is dominance. It's not pretending fear doesn't exist. It's deciding that you exist on a higher plane, one where purpose drowns out panic. Then, once the fear is faced, say this: I choose growth over comfort. Because here's the truth no one wants to hear. Comfort is the slow death of greatness. It lulls you, numbs you, tells you you're fine when you're actually fading. Growth, on the other hand, is fire. It cracks the seed open. It breaks the shell. It demands discomfort. But inside that discomfort is your next evolution, your next level, your untapped power. There are two lives available to you, one of safety and one of significance, one of protection and one of expansion, one that says, let's keep things manageable, and one that says, let's make history. Which will you choose? Growth means you lean into the challenge. It means you stretch. You risk being misunderstood, underestimated, even rejected. But in that stretch, you expand. In that pain, you rise. The seed doesn't become a tree by staying whole. It must be broken open. And so must you. Look again to Lincoln. Crushed by loss, scorned by opponents, dismissed by allies. But he grew. He read, he learned, he evolved. Because comfort was never the goal, conviction was. You must wake up each morning and choose the uncomfortable path of self-mastery. Not because it's trendy, because it's true. Because without growth, the soul suffocates. This is why morning rituals matter. The first 15 minutes of your day are the ignition switch to your life. What you feed your mind becomes your mood. Your mood becomes your behavior. Your behavior becomes your destiny. That's why these declarations are not just habits. They are the battle plans of champions. Look at Oprah Winfrey. Born into poverty, surrounded by hardship, Yet she commanded her mornings. She set intentions. She meditated. She affirmed. Not because life was easy, but because life was hers to shape. Andrew Carnegie did the same. He read every morning, visualized, strategized. He knew that by mastering the start of the day, he could command its end. That is the pattern. Greatness begins before the world is awake. It begins in the dark, where no one sees you, where no one cheers, where no one hands you permission. And so you must become your own permission, your own fuel, your own coach. Say it once more. I choose growth over comfort. Let those words set fire to the fog. Let them push you when the bed pulls you back. Let them remind you that the pain of discipline is always lighter than the pain of regret. You are no longer a slave to fear. You are no longer addicted to comfort. You are a master of your mind, and your mornings, they are sacred. There's a moment in the morning when the world hasn't spoken yet, when everything is still. The sky, the street, your surroundings, silent. And in that moment, the only voice that matters is your own. That's when you face the mirror, not the one hanging on the wall, but the mirror of your identity. Who are you? Not who you were told to be. Not who you've settled into being, but who you truly are, beneath the scars, the titles, the layers of survival. That's why the next thing you must tell yourself each morning is this: I know who I am and why I'm here. This isn't affirmation, it's activation. It's the ignition of your core. Because when you don't know who you are, you chase everything: approval, status, distractions. But when you do know, when your identity is rooted, your purpose becomes your compass. You stop running toward validation and start walking in vision. Napoleon Hill called it definiteness of purpose, the starting point of all achievement. He didn't say talent. He didn't say luck. He said clarity, because clarity carves a path through chaos. It anchors you when the storms come, and they will come. You must declare it, live it, breathe it, not once, every morning, until it becomes more than belief. It becomes bone. Clarity is power. Without it, a person is scattered, pulled by opinions, weighed down by options. But with it, they become a missile, precise, focused, unstoppable. Look at the greats. Steve Jobs didn't build Apple to sell computers. He built it to revolutionize human potential. That's purpose. That's identity. And it was forged in solitude, not applause. When you wake up and say, I know who I am and why I'm here, you strip away the lies, the labels, the confusion. You reintroduce yourself to life as the author, not the audience. You remember that you are not random. You are not an accident. You are not here to get through the day. You are here to command it. But purpose alone is not enough. You must also marry it to expectation. So declare this: I expect miracles and prepare for mastery. These are not opposing ideas. They are partners. Miracles are the domain of belief. Mastery is the domain of preparation. Together, they create destiny. Expecting miracles means you wake up looking for signs, opportunities, breakthroughs. You believe that something bigger is always moving, aligning, arranging on your behalf. But preparation, that's the proof of your belief. If you truly expect greatness, you get ready for it. You train, you study. You practice in private before you ever perform in public. The greats understood this. Think of Serena Williams. Thousands of unseen hours. Pain, discipline, repetition. Why? Because she expected to win long before the trophies arrived. Think of Henry Ford. When he envisioned the Model T, there was no roadmap, no evidence, but in his mind, it was already real. He wasn't waiting for the world to agree. He was preparing for it to catch up. He saw the invisible. He trusted the unseen. And he built for the inevitable. You must do the same. The mornings are not a waiting room. They are a war room. a place to rehearse your victories before the world believes in them, a place to align your vision with your vibration. When you expect miracles, your eyes begin to see them. When you prepare for mastery, your hands begin to build them. This is not magic, it's mind, it's momentum. It's the law of belief and behavior colliding, and it starts the moment you wake. Because the morning is when the subconscious is most open, most programmable. That's when you plant what you want to. Bloom, not hope, not luck, strategy, identity, vision. So instead of scrolling, speak. Instead of reacting, realign. Instead of drifting, declare, I know who I am. I know why I'm here. I expect miracles. I prepare for mastery. Let that become your ritual, your rhythm, your reminder that you are not ordinary, that you are not just here to survive. You are here to thrive, to lead, to become the rarest kind of human, the kind who walks into each day knowing that purpose isn't a dream, it's a discipline. And when you live with that clarity, life starts to respond. You'll begin to notice how things align, how people appear, how ideas spark. Because when the mind is clear, the path is no longer hidden. It's revealed. Identity governs behavior. Purpose governs passion. Expectation governs attention. And preparation, that governs everything else. So this morning, don't just brush your teeth and run out the door. Look into your soul's mirror and speak the truth. You are not here by chance. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are already becoming everything you were created to be. The world doesn't give you momentum. It doesn't hand you energy. It responds to it. The moment you move, the moment you decide, the universe leans in. Life meets you at the level of your discipline. That's why, before the noise comes, the world can dilute your focus. You must look yourself in the eyes and say, I act now, not later. This is not motivation. This is mechanics. Because action isn't just something you do. It's the door you walk through to reach everything you want. And the key? It's in your hand the moment you rise. Procrastination is the assassin of purpose. It wears a friendly mask. It tells you, wait until it's clearer. Wait until it's perfect. Wait until you're ready. But greatness doesn't wait. Fortune doesn't wait. Life doesn't wait. It rewards the bold, the decisive, the one who dares to begin before they're prepared and figures it out while in motion. Every time you delay, you're not just losing time, you're closing a door. Because opportunities don't sit around forever. They pass, they fade, they vanish into the rear view of hesitation. Napoleon Hill didn't mince words. The successful person makes decisions quickly and changes them slowly. That's the trait of leaders, of builders, of empire makers. They don't wait for certainty. They move with conviction. Because they understand that momentum is a habit, not a feeling. Look at how momentum works. One step becomes two becomes a sprint, and soon what once felt impossible becomes routine. That's not magic. That's momentum. And it all starts with one powerful act, starting. Discipline is what builds that start into a structure. Because emotion comes and goes. But discipline, that's your scaffolding. That's the frame that keeps you standing when your feelings try to knock you down. Think of Dwayne Johnson. The man doesn't rely on motivation to train every day. He relies on systems, structure, rituals. Because when you've made discipline your default, you don't need to feel inspired to act. You act, and inspiration follows. That's the formula. Discipline builds habits. Habits build momentum. Momentum builds destiny. But it has to begin in the morning, because the first action of the day sets the tone. It's not just a task. It's a signal to your subconscious that you are in control, that you are the master, not the slave, that you are steering the ship, not being dragged by the current. When you wake up and act, immediately, intentionally, you shift your identity from dreamer to doer, from planner to producer, from wisher to warrior. Let's be clear. Discipline is not punishment. It's freedom. because it liberates you from chaos, from randomness, from drifting into mediocrity. It gives structure to your ambition, shape to your soul. It is the bridge between belief and results. So when the alarm hits, don't snooze. When the mind resists, don't retreat. When comfort calls, don't answer. Move. Move before your mind has time to negotiate. Move before the fear finds its words. Move before the day belongs to someone else's agenda. Because when you move, you win. Even if it's small, even if it's slow, even if it's imperfect. The world doesn't need more perfect plans. It needs more relentless starters. So build this declaration into your bloodstream. I act now, not later. Every decision delayed becomes a muscle weakened. But every decision made, every step taken becomes a statement, a declaration that you are not owned by fear, that you are not defined by hesitation, that you are building something that cannot be stopped. Because here's what happens when you act. The brain rewires, the confidence grows, the belief deepens. It becomes easier the next time. And soon, what was once difficult becomes your new baseline. This is the emotional rhythm of champions. They don't wait for the wave, they create it, one disciplined step at a time. The first action of your morning doesn't need to be grand. It just needs to be done. Maybe it's writing the vision, maybe it's putting on the shoes, maybe it's 10 push-ups, 1 paragraph, 1 phone call. It's not about quantity, it's about consistency. And consistency compounds. Discipline is compound interest in human form. You may not see the reward today, but tomorrow, next month, next year, it will be the foundation you stand on while others are still hoping. That's what separates the great from the good. That's what builds resilience. And that's what makes your mornings unstoppable. So stop waiting. The perfect moment isn't coming. You are the moment. You are the decision. You are the door. Open it. There comes a time in the morning, after the declarations, after the intentions, after the rising, when you realize something profound. You are no longer waiting to become great. You are already becoming. Not next year, not someday. Now, say it. I am already becoming the person I was born to be. These are not future plans. These are present facts. This is your identity in motion. Transformation is not a moment. It's a process, a slow, sacred unfolding. Like gold being refined by fire, you are forged through effort, not ease. Every disciplined choice, every small action, every hard decision is sculpting you. It's not about arriving, it's about evolving. You don't need a breakthrough to become someone new. You need belief, repetition, patience, fire. Because growth doesn't explode, it compounds, it builds, it gains weight until it becomes undeniable. And what you are doing by speaking these truths every morning is not wishful thinking. It's foundational building. You are not painting fantasies. You are carving realities. You create your world. You rise above fear. You choose growth over comfort. You know your purpose. You expect greatness. You act without delay. And now you realize you are becoming unstoppable. Not one day, this day. Because becoming is not about perfection. It's about alignment. Alignment with your vision, your voice, your inner knowing. And once you're aligned, the resistance loses its grip. The excuses start to sound hollow. The delay becomes uncomfortable because you no longer see yourself as someone trying. You see yourself as someone transforming. Let me be clear. This isn't about ego. This is about remembrance. Greatness isn't found, it's remembered. It was always there, underneath the noise, the fear, the shame. And every morning, with every word you speak, you chip away the lies until the masterpiece is revealed. Michelangelo said, "I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free." That's what you're doing. Every affirmation is a chisel. Every action is a strike. Every morning is a moment of unveiling. This is the power of identity. When you know who you are and you speak it, live it, breathe it, you no longer chase change. You embody it. You don't beg for opportunities. You attract them. You don't seek validation. You radiate value. You don't follow the world. You lead yourself. This is not fantasy. This is fact. Look at every titan who's ever walked the path. They were not handed their destiny. They became it, one morning at a time. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. He didn't wait to become a leader. He became one in the silence, in the solitude. He became his mission long before the world saw the result. That's what real becoming looks like. It's quiet, it's consistent, it's committed, and it's rooted in one sacred realization. You are not who you were. You are not what they said. You are who you decide to be, starting every morning with what you choose to declare. So now, breathe deep, stand still, and let the full weight of your truth settle into your bones. I am already becoming the person I was born to be. This is the fusion of all the pieces, the reason for every step. This is why you declare, I create my world, because your life isn't random, it's designed, and you are the designer. This is why you say, I am bigger than my fears, because you are not your limitations, you are the one who outgrows them. This is why you say, I choose growth over comfort, because comfort is safe, but purpose is sacred. This is why you say, I know who I am and why I'm here, because clarity is your compass, identity is your weapon. This is why you say, I expect miracles and prepare for mastery, because faith without preparation is fantasy. This is why you say, I act now, not later, because the door doesn't open with hesitation, it opens with decision. And this is why you say, I am already becoming, because the moment you speak it, feel it, live it, it becomes real. And when the world asks, who do you think you are? You will answer, not with arrogance, but with certainty. I am the proof that belief works. I am the result of inner work. I am the sculptor of today. So don't just repeat these things. Become them. Live them. Be the person who doesn't just say the truth, but walks it, embodies it, bleeds it. And the world? It won't be able to ignore you, because truth cannot be ignored. Power cannot be hidden. And the person you are becoming, they cannot be stopped.